Hello, everybody. It's your friendly neighborhood INFP, and while my hair may look like the kind of mess that an ISFP hairdresser may have fun beautifying in some way and making look good, that's not what we're going to be talking about. We instead are going to be talking about the love languages of the ISFPs. Now, given that ISFPs are very similar to INFPs in the fact that they share the same dominant function, the same dominant and inferior function, there are going to be a lot of similarities between this ISFP video and the INFP video when we get to the intuitives later on down the road. So, starting off with ISFPs, their first probable love language is going to be quality time. They like spending time with the closest friends. They like spending time with their families. They like spending time with the people that they care about, and they're going to be paying attention to those people's problems. They're going to be paying attention to the things that they're saying. They're going to be paying a lot of attention to what is going on, and maybe they even might do something with that, but most of the time they are going to be paying attention and they are going to enjoy spending that time together. And if that time requires them going on a trip somewhere or like camping or going to the movies, well, would movies count as quality time? For the sake of this, let's count that as quality time. So basically any setting where they can get away with the people they care about and enjoy spending that time with them, that is essentially why quality time is going to be high up there for the ISFP, and very similar reasons for the INFP, but we'll get to INFP when we get to INFP. Next up on the list for the ISFPs in the next order of love languages, and remember, most of this is merely speculation. It is me like viewing the types and going, it's probably that, but it's not going to be the same cookie cutter thing for all of the same types. It's just what I have witnessed, my own anecdotal evidence, and what I have read, and then putting that together into a comprehensive thought process into, okay, this would make sense to me. So, with that disclaimer out of the way, the next one for ISFPs is likely going to be words of affirmation. ISFPs, they, much like other feelers, they do not like conflict. They do not like things going out of the ordinary or whatever. And, sometimes they'll even start conflict if it's something that, like, goes against their values and all that. But most of the time, it's going to be trying to uplift the other person, praise the other person, make the other person feel nice, and motivate the other person, or inspire the other person. So if, say, for example, weight loss, say a person is trying to lose weight and the ISFP is a physical trainer, they're not going to be treating that person meanly. They're going to be quite often showing and doing the things along with that person and motivating them, like, you can do it, all right, I will do it here with you. And they'll get down to that person's level and they'll do it with them, or then they'll show them, or then they'll give us some kind of advice. And usually if it's like more, I feel like ISFPs would be like more on the physical side of things than the perhaps non-physical side of things, the more mental side of things. But that is pure conjecture. I would view ISFPs being great people who would be there in the thick of it with you, showing their own progress and then seeing your progress that matches off of their progress. And they're like, all right, we can do this. Let's do this together type of thing. And it would just go on from there to like help motivate the person and all of that. So then next up, it's obviously going to be gifts. That's going to be the typical middle of the road area for ISFPs to both give and receive gifts. That's how I always view the love language of gifts. I do not view it as just receiving, because there is an immense amount of joy and pride when you give gifts as well. At least that's what I've noticed. And I know there are like other people who have noticed the same thing. And like philanthropists love the act of giving gifts. And some of them even love getting gifts from the people who are closest to them. Not my point, but with the ISFP, I would put the gift giving at third, and they probably either handcraft that gift and make the gift wrapping look beautiful, or then they know the things that you like and they get something that you like, and then they make it into this beautiful little design if they're creative, or simply just get something extraordinarily meaningful, or if they receive something meaningful that is like they know that you've paid attention to them, that would make them super happy as well. And especially if you've like gone out of your way, if it's like a crafty ISFP, if it's a crafty ISFP and you try and hand make the gift for them and it turns out pretty decently and you give that to the ISFP, they're going to feel super happy about that, especially if it's something that they really enjoy or like. So yeah, gifts would be third there. Then it comes to physical touch, would probably be in the fourth slot. They are, I would imagine that they wouldn't be terribly adverse to hugs and cuddles and all of that, but it's not also high up there on their love language. So I would essentially give the physical touch down to number 4, unless once again one of the creative pursuits that they are doing requires physical touch, such as being a hairdresser or makeup artist or costume designer, tailor, seamstress, and all of that. So like that would kind of like probably boost up the physical touch aspect of the love language. It really depends on where they would be in the whole entire situation. And last but not least is the acts of service. These guys may not be the best at doing things for other people, although they could be extraordinarily good at it. It could even be above physical touch, and some of you may say, hey, no, my act of service is way above physical touch. But most of the time, they just do things like unconsciously or consciously, and it's not necessarily out of doing it for you. It's just, okay, this is what I always do anyways, and they just go and do it. I don't feel like that would be them going out of their way to provide you with some kind of act of service and do it for you. Although they very well might, if they're like into, once again, the crafty kind of business or the repair kind of business, they may have that higher up in their stack. But generally that's how I see it for the ISFPs. And that'll essentially do it for this episode with looking over the love languages of ISFPs, and you're going to see a similar thing with INFPs down a little, but I'll talk about that when I get there. But until then, I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.